Welcome. We are here to do a full body stretching routine. Now, you can do this any time of day, and this is going to be passive stretching. So I have my timer here. We're going to be sitting into each stretch for 45 seconds, okay? So let's get started. We are going to begin with a thoracic rotation stretch. So I like to begin with stretching the spine because when the spine loosens up, it makes it easier to loosen up the hips and the shoulders. So we're going to cross our foot over this leg like so. So the knee is propped up here. We're going to take the opposite arm of the knee that's here. We're going to twist like so. And you're going to wedge the tricep area, the back of your arm, in kind of the top of your thigh towards the knee here. Now, what I want you to do is I've done this wrong in the past of getting here and then really pushing, but not opening up the chest. So you really want to try to open up the chest and the top of the spine. See if you can look behind you because the head will guide the spine to open up. And we're going to hold this for 45 seconds. Okay, ready? And here we go. Now, during all these stretches, I want you to focus on keeping a calm breath. Trying to let your exhalation when you breathe out be a little bit longer than your inhalation, and that's going to keep your system calm and be able to get more out of our stretches here. So I'm pushing my arm into the knee here. I'm trying to really twist and open up and look behind me. It's a great rotation stretch of the spine here that you may feel in the back, you may feel in the hips, in the neck, wherever you need it. Okay, that's 45. So let's go ahead and switch. Prop the knee here. Put my arm over. And see, right, I close my chest every time I do this, so I remind myself, okay, open up, look behind me, let's start the timer, calm the breath. Now, where I really feel this is in my right lat. I also feel it in this side of the hip here, and then I feel it throughout the length of my spine on my back side. There's no right or wrong as long as we are trying to open this up, right? Every time you come back to this, see if you can get a little bit more rotation here. Look behind you a little bit further. Breathe and relax. Okay, awesome. Ooh, already feeling more opened up. Feels great. So now we're going to hop into stretching the hips, the front of the hip. So the hip flexor area. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into a lunge position like so. Deep lunge. You're going to put your hand down here, and then essentially we're just going to kind of sink in and drive this hip down and forward at an angle here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. Now, another thing that you can think about is squeezing the butt a little bit to create more openness in this front of the hip, right? And not overextending through your lower spine, right? We don't want to get here. It's okay to have a little arch here, that's normal, but not here. Okay, so I'm starting the timer. Put that hand down and settle the breath. And whenever I'm doing this stretch, I also like to think about essentially both my thigh bones are being driven in opposite directions. So this front one is being driven forward and up, and this back one is being driven back and down. I really feel this open up here. I really feel that hip just relax, breathe. There's the timer. And good. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So we'll hop in here. Now, you can leave the toes like this. I recommend putting the foot flat though. It's just going to drive more hip extension here. So we're going to start. Breathe. See how you can kind of manually with your mind, with your intention, shut off some of the muscles here that may be holding a lot of tension. Just try to breathe into that area. Let your nervous system be calm. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's hold a few extra seconds. And relax. Cool. So yeah, I get to a point there, maybe with like 10 seconds left on this stretch, where something released a little bit. And you may find that, it may take 40 seconds. And then you get, something settled a little bit. And you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. And that's what stretching is. We're just trying to signal to our body that it's okay to go here. And when it does feel safe, it'll let you go a little bit further. So feel free to spend extra time in those areas if you want to and if you need to, okay? Okay, so now we're going to move into another stretch for the shoulders and the spine, opening up the chest here, okay? So this is the lounge chair. If you do the daily practice, then you may be familiar with this one. We put the hands behind us. We're gonna open the fingers, point the fingers backwards. That opens the shoulder into external rotation. And then we're essentially going to pick up the hips, move them forward. If you want to kind of just sit into this and relax, you can put the hips down. If you want to stay active here, which is probably going to get you a deeper stretch, we keep those hips up. Okay. Now the other thing is we really want to open the shoulder by driving external rotation of my shoulder and bringing my shoulder blade down, right? We don't want to get here. That's not going to be doing what we want. We want to open here. Okay. So let's get that timer. External rotation, hips up. I sit forward. For me, I'm going to choose to keep my hips up. I'm going to really straighten the elbows as much as I can, and driving that elbow extension, straightness of the elbow helps stretch those bicep muscles that can get a little tight, which is also going to contribute to opening the front of the shoulder more. Open chest, open heart. Breathe. And relax. And that stretch is so essential for anyone that has a job that brings them here a lot of the day, for anyone that's adopted those patterns over the course of their life, like I definitely have, of just closing off, rounding the shoulder forward. And if you do have that and you start to open things up and stretch this, I think that it also helps you open up emotionally and not be so closed down to the world, but to be a little lighter in the world, right? Okay, cool. So next one we're going to go to is butterfly, okay? So butterfly, essentially, I want you to bring your heels as close towards your hips as you can here. And now I'm going to show you, I recommend if you have an open wall, or like here's the couch right here, doing this against that wall, so then you have something to keep your back straight, okay? So I think I'm still in camera here. Hopefully I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to get to this butterfly position now. Get here with me. Relax. Let yourself just kind of adjust to being here with the hips open. And now once I hit the timer for these 45 seconds, all I want to do here is just very lightly put my hands here and just drive the knees downwards. Okay, very light. We don't have to be intense. We're just going to put a little bit of force down. Okay, so I'm going to hit the timer and my arms go on there lightly. And when they do, I definitely feel those inner thighs being stretched more, right? And think about the hips. It's not so much that my knees being kind of slammed down to the ground. It's more so that my hip is kind of doing this twisting motion and externally rotating. And if you can kind of signal to your glute muscles, your butt muscles, to be active here, that'll make this position even stronger. Breathe. We've got 5 seconds left. We're going to stay in this one a little bit longer as well. Some of you guys who are really open in the hips might even be able to get your knees to the ground. That's awesome. That's really good range of motion. And relax. All right. That's a common area of stiffness for me. So whenever I'm getting out of that, I feel, really, really stretch that and open that up. And it feels nice. It feels very nice. So we're going to go back to the upper body. You may see a pattern here going lower stretch, then upper stretch. So back to upper body. So I'm going to sit back on my knees, right? That's actually why I grabbed this pillow, because if this is a little uncomfortable for you to sit on the knees like this, go like this, right? That props the hips up a little bit. Also, if you need, don't do this on cement. That's going to be tough on the feet and the knees. So do this on some padded surface. So this stretch, we're going to come down here. Oh boy, I think I'm out of frame. Here we go. We're going to come here. So this is kind of like a child's pose position, but we're going to put the fingertips in rather than having the hands flat. We bring those fingertips in. That keeps the arms raised, and we're going to drive the chest and rib cage down and neck down while the arms stay raised. And that essentially creates this kind of opening up of the chest and the upper spine, okay? We got the timer, 45 seconds. Let's hop down. Let your hips, rib cage, chest sink down to the ground. Keep those fingertips strong. Keep the elbows straight. You can kind of let your nose rest on the ground if that feels okay for you. Breathe. Settle in here and see if you can let your chest expand. A good exhalation might allow you to get a little bit deeper. Let that chest open more. Let that shoulders drift up while the spine opens. And this is thoracic extension. And because our hips are tucked like this, it keeps our lumbar spine from not extending too much. And a lot of this extension comes from the upper spine. And you probably heard the beep. Come out of that. Oh yeah, take a second there to feel how open you feel after that. You know, my head even feels a little bit different. Like it's sitting on my neck a little bit different. I feel very open in the shoulders and the spine. Awesome. How are you guys feeling? I'm asking because that is one round. We're going to go through one more time here. And hopefully this time we're going to go a little bit quicker through because I'm not going to be explaining quite as much, okay? So we're going to hop right back into our thoracic rotation cross-legged stretch here. So I'm going to cross my arm. I'm going to hit the timer. You here? We good? Let's go. Just twist so you guys can see me this way. Settle the breath, look behind you. Think about breathing into your back. The back is going to be expanding in this one. Got 2 seconds. Awesome. Feels great, man. Feels great. Feels like peanut butter and cake. Just made that up, but for some reason it flowed off my tongue pretty nicely. Okay. Hopping into another 45 seconds on this side. Let the belly be soft here. I just caught myself kind of tightening up my belly. This is not a time to train the abs. Let the abs be soft. That's going to allow you to get deeper into this stretch and all the other stretches that we're doing as well. Okay. It's 45. Relax. Good. How's everyone doing? Doing good. All right, what's next? Do you remember? It's our hip stretch. Cool. So we come down. We're going to get deep. I'm going to show you guys another variation here that you can try out. So this variation is going to be grabbing your leg behind you, right? Now, you might need a little support here from the hand. That's totally fine. And this is going to capture more of that quad, okay? If that feels good, then please do it. If not, just do the version that we did last time. So I'm actually just going to start by, so that's 45, the timer's on. I'm going to start by just settling in here to the first variation. Seeing how much I can open this hip. That's about 15 seconds. Now I'm going to grab the back. I'm going to keep my chest open. And I'm also going to try to squeeze my glute a little bit here. And I'm feeling my whole right side opening. This feels great. Soften the belly though. Don't keep too much tension around your center. 2, 1, let's hold, relax. Beautifully done. Beautifully done, my friends. All right. Okay, so same thing on this side. I'm going to get deep into it for about 10 seconds. And I'm going to grab. I'm going to challenge my balance on this side and not put my hand down. It's not required. Just a little fun for me. And I'm going to relax my stomach. I'm going to focus on my exhales. We're going to hold for about 3 more seconds. Beautiful. Beautifully done. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Okay. So now we're going to hop into the lounge chair, right? You got to love the lounge chair. We'll do it from this angle this time. I'm going to get rid of that pillow. Okay, we're going to put 45 on the clock. You guys know what we're doing. Hands right behind you. And we're off. Externally rotate the shoulders. Bring those shoulder blades down. Keeping my hands really active here. Really active. Some of you guys that are strong, have flexible shoulders, you might want to go deeper into this, bringing those hips down towards the feet, but don't do anything too intense, right? Keep that chest up. Awesome. Relax. Great. Oh yeah, open the biceps, open the chest. Feels awesome. Remember that, this is something that we can improve on every time that we come here, every time that we hit this, okay? So there's no reason to be a hero on your first time, even on your first month, right? You can keep doing this for a year and keep making improvements, right? So we're back to our butterfly. We pull those heels in. I'm going to hit the timer. And we just put a little bit of force downwards. If you're tight in the hips here and the inner thighs, this is just something that you got to just keep doing. I know that it can be hard. It can be really challenging. Breathe. Soften the belly. Let the hips open. Almost getting down to the ground there. Beautiful. Relax. Whew. Cool. That feels good. Oh yeah, that feels good. Okay. So we're going to move into our overhead stretch here, right? Our child's pose / cat stretch. We're going to go 45 seconds. Fingertips are in, and we're opening losing it. The top of the spine, right? The thoracic spine and the chest. Okay. I like to spread my knees, so that makes me be able to get my belly down in between my knees a little more. Let your spine lengthen. Should be a decompressing sensation. You can play with having your hands closer together, wider apart. Closer together will probably be a little more stretch on the shoulder. Breathe. And relax. Awesome. We are at 24 minutes. Not bad. So there is one more thing that I want to do. That was 2 rounds. I want to just give the hamstrings a little bit of a stretch here, okay? So we're going to go back. We're going to use my favorite hamstring stretch. If anybody is a part of the Move Strong Now program, we use this in Move Strong Now. I think it's one of the best ways to open up the hamstrings. We just kneel on one knee here, like so. Once again, you can point the toe. You can keep the toes in. It doesn't matter. And what we're going to do is for our first 20 seconds, we're going to arch the spine. I'm going to keep this extended. For the second half, I'm going to round down, and I'm going to see how close I can get my knee into my rib cage. Okay? Set the timer. And we arch the spine. I keep my head up to help me stay arched here in the spine. And stretching the hamstrings with an arched spine is just going to be just a different stimulus here. It's a different pelvic position, and it's good to do both. And that's why we're doing both. Okay, now I want you to round. You can grab your foot. You can kind of pull yourself in. You can really just flex your spine as much as you can, bringing that rib cage and that head to your knee shin area. Breathe. Good, relax. That should feel a really good stretch on the hamstrings there. really intense. And if you're not able to get that deep here, that's completely fine, okay? Maybe for you, it looks more like this, here, and then here. That's fine. That's where we start, okay? You're gonna make a lot of improvements over the course of doing this. So let's go, arch the spine. I like to put my hands on the knee. Breathe. And now let's fold forward. Awesome. Okay, guys. That is our full body stretching routine for today. Yeah, for today, I guess. But you should come back to this as often as you can, right? And I also want to mention, if one of these felt really good, or if one of these was super challenging, let's say in the butterfly, you're like this, give that one more love, right? Maybe do it another round right now after this video ends. Or if there was something that just felt amazing, maybe it was this cross-leg stretch, do it again, right? You don't have to limit yourself to just what I'm showing right here. This is a perfect amount to make progress on, but if you're feeling good and you're feeling like a champ, you can go do a little bit more. Now, don't overdo it. You don't want to get like too sore from stretching, but I'm a big fan of when you're feeling good, pushing things a little further, and those days when you're not feeling so good, just doing the minimum amount of work required, all right? That's how success happens. Okay, guys, thank you for sharing this time with me. I will see you again tomorrow.